I didn't even do anything to you. I swear, I only grabbed her hair. Griffin defended himself, his voice rising in panic. Alaric smacked his forehead, groaning in frustration. You idiot! You must have hurt her. Humans are way more fragile. How many times do I have to tell you that? But Griffin started to protest, only to stop dead as Violet suddenly threw her arms around him. She buried her face in his chest, sobbing like her world had ended. The room went silent. Even Alaric held his breath, staring in disbelief. What was supposed to be an interrogation had completely flipped. Instead of scaring Violet into confessing, she was now the one doing the scaring. Griffin looked totally lost. He was a huge guy, his size intimidating everyone he met. Most people avoided him, too scared to even get close. Only his closest friends, or sometimes girlfriends, ever dared to touch him. What most people didn't know was that Griffin had the softest heart of all the Cardinal Alphas. He was a tough guy with a teddy bear heart. And yet, here was this human girl, someone he had no connection to, clinging to him like he was her lifeline. For over a minute, Griffin stood frozen, unable to process what was happening. But then, shockingly, his huge arms went around Violet. He started patting her back awkwardly, like she was a little kid who needed comforting. "Shoot," Griffin muttered apologetically. "I'm so sorry, Violet. My mom would be so disappointed if she found out I made a girl cry." His tone was truly sorry as he kept patting her back, his earlier aggression completely gone. Unfortunately for Griffin and Alaric, neither of them knew Violet had been faking the whole thing. Griffin would never have believed her outright, and being stubborn wasn't going to get her out of this mess. So Violet relied on a skill women often had an advantage with: tears, or rather, playing on people's emotions. Like before, she stuck to her motto, "Fake it till you make it." Except this time, she decided to take it up a notch. Except what Violet didn't realize was that tapping into her emotional reservoir was a double-edged sword. The moment Griffin wrapped his massive, muscular arms around her, everything shifted. Suddenly, the floodgates opened. The emotions she'd pretended to feel crashed over her like a tidal wave, turning her act into reality. Violet had always been tough, but being tough meant silent wounds and emotional bandages weighing her down every single day. She'd been holding on so tight, never realizing how much she needed to let go until now. It had all been a lie, every bit of fake strength she clung to. Griffin's hatred, seemingly for no reason, stung more than she wanted to admit. Asher's control over her life, like he was some kind of god, terrified her. And more than anything, Violet was homesick. She missed Nancy, missed their trailer, missed the life she'd left behind. Here she was, stuck in a strange new world with no friendly faces, no comfort, no safety net. "Yeah, just like that, Violet," Griffin murmured, his voice soothing. His huge hand stroked her hair, and the feeling was surprisingly comforting. "Let it all out. It's good for you. Let it flow." And just like that, tears streamed down Violet's face, her sobs turning into ragged gasps. "You're safe," he whispered, his voice totally sincere. "I won't hurt you again." Even through her tears, Violet felt the truth in his words. Griffin's voice held no meanness now, only a weird gentleness she hadn't expected. Meanwhile, Alaric stood nearby, staring at the scene with a slightly horrified expression. He had no idea what was going on. Relief flickered across his face. At least there wasn't a fight. Not that he would have let it happen. Even Alaric had his limits. Still, this was something else. As he watched Violet, a growing suspicion crept into Alaric's mind. First Asher, now Griffin. It seemed like this girl had them both wrapped around her little finger. Alaric didn't like it, not one bit. Violet stared at her reflection in the restroom mirror, the cold water running over her hands unnoticed. Her mind replayed the scene in the classroom. She'd gotten away, mostly unscathed. Her scalp still stung where Griffin Hale had grabbed her hair, but the real pain was the raw emotion she'd let slip. Her golden eyes seemed to mock her. "You cried," they accused. Crying in front of Griffin Hale? The East House tough guy? It was almost funny, except a knot of anxiety twisted in her stomach. Yet, Griffin's reaction had been totally unexpected. After her meltdown, he just apologized. His sincere tone still rang in her ears. "You're right," he'd said, sounding genuinely sorry. "I was a jerk for going after you when I should be grilling Asher. But don't sweat it. I'll get the truth out of him one way or another." Then, like a knight in shining armor making a grand vow, he'd added with fierce determination, "If you ever need my help or want to switch houses, just come to me. I'll go to bat for you, and I'll be happy to have you in East House." The memory made Violet scoff, the water still flowing over her hands. Knight in shining armor? Give me a break. Griffin might have acted like her protector for a minute, but she wasn't about to think of him as her savior. Still, she couldn't ignore the total 180 in his attitude. It was almost creepy. But even weirder than Griffin's sudden change of heart was the look Alaric Storm had given him before they left. That icy, suspicious glare. Violet shivered, remembering how the Lightning Prince's sharp eyes had lingered on her, like he was trying to figure her out. Alaric clearly didn't like or trust her. Not one little bit. Well, he's got every right not to. Violet shut off the faucet, gripping the sink as she took a deep breath. Her reflection showed red, puffy eyes from crying. She bit her lip, wishing she had some makeup to cover it up. She couldn't go to her next class looking like this. The last thing she needed was for people to think she was a crybaby. She wasn't weak. The sound of a stall door opening broke her thoughts. Violet looked up as a girl emerged, radiating confidence. From the elegant sway of her hair to the sweet, almost intoxicating perfume, Violet instantly recognized her as one of the Blue Bloods, the wealthy elite who ran Lunaris Academy. And if there was one group Violet steered clear of, it was the rich and entitled. The girl Hope sauntered to the mirror next to Violet, placing a small designer purse on the counter. She unzipped it, revealing a treasure trove of makeup. Violet couldn't help but stare as Hope pulled out a sleek tube of red lipstick and expertly applied it, the color making her full lips even more striking. She smacked them together with a satisfied smile, the picture of self-assured beauty. She wasn't even wearing her jacket, and her shirt was unbuttoned just enough to reveal a red lace and a hint of... It was a deliberate move, Violet knew. Hope wanted attention, and she was getting it. But Violet was too focused on the makeup bag, as if it held the solution to all her problems. Violet swallowed hard, debating whether to ask. Rich kids were predictable. The girl would probably sneer, give her a condescending look, or just ignore her. But the alternative was walking into class looking like a wreck. Violet shuddered at the thought. Her fingers itched to just grab the makeup bag and run, but she immediately dismissed the idea. This wasn't her old school. She wasn't a thief. And getting labeled one here would be a total nightmare. Gritting her teeth, Violet decided to risk it. Before she could speak, the girl turned with a dramatic flourish. "All you have to do is ask," she said, her voice smooth and teasing, like she'd been waiting for Violet to speak. She smiled. "And you shall receive." Violet blinked, surprised by the unexpected offer. She studied the girl closely now, taking in her gorgeous dirty blonde hair, sharp cheekbones, and beautiful hazel eyes. There was something familiar about her, but Violet couldn't place it. "I didn't think you'd help me," Violet admitted cautiously. The girl raised a perfectly arched brow, smirking. "And why wouldn't I? You're one of us now." Just like that, Violet's suspicions were confirmed. She was one of the elite. Apparently, she, Violet, had become one of them. Except for the title, she was still broke, though. Since the girl seemed to be in a generous mood, Violet decided not to push her luck. "Fine. Help me with your makeup, please," she requested politely. "Sure," the girl said with a casual shrug, "but on one condition, violet purple." Violet froze, taking a step back. Her wariness wasn't just because the girl knew her name. Practically everyone at Lunaris Academy seemed to. But because she'd learned the hard way that making deals at Lunaris was dangerous. Nothing good ever came of it. The girl seemed to catch her reaction and burst out laughing. "Gosh, your expression is priceless. Don't worry, calm down. I'm not going to demand your firstborn or anything." But her teasing didn't ease Violet's nerves. "Then what do you want?" Violet asked cautiously, her muscles tense, ready to run. The girl smirked, leaning closer. "I'm having a tea party with the girls tomorrow, and I was hoping you'd come."
Hey, amazing viewers, it's Paulette here. Thanks for sticking with us. By the time of the release of this video, only 9% of our viewers have joined the party by subscribing, and 91% of you might miss out on our next mind-blowing video. So what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and join the exclusive club.